Hello! Today's stories come from r/Am I the Butthole? We've got 4 stories today. Let's jump right in with Am I the butthole for telling my girlfriend I'll keep honoring my best friend's dying wish, even if it makes her uncomfortable? My late best friend and I knew each other since we were little. We were next door neighbors and always played together. We even went to the same kindergarten, primary school, and middle and high school together. One day during our sophomore year, we started talking about how most of our classmates had started dating. We obviously weren't okay with that and decided to get one up on all of them by getting married. As a joke, I made her a fake ring and she gave me her scrunchie. A few weeks later, a drunk driver hit her. She sustained multiple injuries and was in the ICU for 2 months. The doctor told her family that her survival chances are slim. And the only time I talked to her before she died, she made me promise to always visit her on her wedding anniversary and to wear her scrunchie during the visit. 4 years ago, when I started dating my girlfriend, I told her about it and asked if she was okay with it. She commented about how sweet and nice the tradition was and told me she was perfectly fine with it. Today was the 10th anniversary and I took the day off. Before my girlfriend went to work, she told me it's time to put this tradition to rest and move on because it was starting to get pathetic that I still wear a dead girl scrunchie to celebrate a fake marriage that we had 10 years ago. I was furious at her comments because she wasn't just a dead girl. She was my best friend and like a sister to me. We grew up and did everything together. I told my girlfriend a long time ago that we never had an intimate or romantic relationship and that our wedding was just a joke. It's not like I talk about her or keep her photos around the house or anything similar. The only times I've talked about her to my girlfriend is when I told her if she was okay with the tradition or if she asked me about her. When I told her that I'll keep honoring my best friend's dying wish, even if it made her uncomfortable, she left for work angry at me and hasn't come back home yet. Definitely not the butthole. I think the girlfriend is jealous and something else is bothering her. Seems like she's confusing what is meaningful to OP. I doubt it was the fake marriage part that was important to him. I think it was the prank they were pulling on friends and the promise he made. The comments on this one were pretty insightful. Let's check them out. Amanda McKnight said, Not the butthole, but if she's been fine up until now, then maybe she's upset about something else? Like there's been a feeling that the relationship has fallen into complacency, so she's lashed out at a display of you showing something else as being meaningful. Temperance added, after 4 years, she might be annoyed that he's still honoring a fake marriage without giving her the commitment of a real one. I wonder if she's reaching a point where she wants to get married and is feeling resentful. Edit, I'm not condoning her behavior at all. If this is her reasoning, then she needs to have a mature discussion rather than being underhanded. I was just speculating on her behavior. Weakness Free added, She's a big girl. She can use her words. F My Life Would Even said, Info. Are there occasions, traditions, events where you also proactively remember and take the day off for your girlfriend? OP replied, I take her every year to the restaurant where I first saw her. For Valentine's and our official anniversary, we plan things together and bring each other gifts. However, for her birthday, I take the day off if it's not on a weekend and I try to spoil her nonstop for the whole day. For my tradition with my late best friend, there is nothing special. I just go and sit at her resting place for a few hours wearing her scrunchie. Hale Pudding's verdict is that everyone sucks here and speaks to the girlfriend's perspective and what she might be thinking. I've been dating my boyfriend for over 4 years and he won't propose. We're in our late 20s, early 30s, and I'm wondering how serious he is about me. He shows more commitment to an old friend of his who died 10 years ago. He was willing to fake marry her, and he still does a lot for her anniversary. What I initially thought was a really sweet gesture now shows what a difference in how he treats us. That makes me feel resentful and like I'm wasting my time with him. Our second story is Karma at its best. Am I the butthole for making my sister in law pay above average rent for one bedroom? I am 100% being petty here, but curious if I am actually wrong. Most of my husband's family think I am being childish and need to let the past go, as my sister in law can't afford this. But her behavior toward us in the past makes me feel this is warranted. 2 years ago, my house burnt to the ground after being struck by lightning. Thankfully, it was during the day, so our 3 kids were at school and my husband and I were at work. We lost everything, but we were safe. It took almost 11 months for the insurance to pay out. The insurance covered 1 month worth of hotel stays, but after that, we were made to fend for ourselves, and the only option we had was to move in with my sister in law. She tells us we can have her spare room and her office space since she used neither of the rooms, and her stipulations were that we needed to purchase all of our own food and pay her $100 a week. By week 3, all of that changed. She then decides we need to pay her $250 a week and we can only use one room. So all five of us were crammed into the smallest room she had, which was the size of a glorified closet space and didn't even fit a twin bed and a small dresser. So we lived out of trash bags and slept on the floor for close to $1,000 a month some months, and still had to purchase all of our own food, despite her claiming my children on her food stamps. She also had no bills outside of her land tax, $450 a year, electric and heating oil, which she hardly ever filled. So we were essentially paying her so she could do leisure activities. It was the worst 8 months of my life. 3 months ago, my grandmother decided that she wanted to go to assisted living after a fall and transferred the deed of her house to me and basically said it was mine now. It is a 5 bedroom farmhouse. My boys insist on sharing a room, so we have 2 extra bedrooms. Well, my sister in law lost her house last month due to not paying her land tax for several years and asked if her and her stepdaughter could stay with us until they get enough money to move down south. I said sure. 1 bedroom, $800 a month, and you have to buy and cook all your food separately because my daughter is vegan. She looked at me like I had 10 heads and said that she and her stepdaughter should not be made to share a room when there are 2 extra rooms, and stated she cannot afford a rent of $800 while purchasing all of her own food on top of it. I said, neither could we, but we managed to cram 5 people into a glorified closet space while you were getting $1,000 and food stamps. Take it or leave it. She decided to leave. Again, I am being told I am childish. Am I the butthole? Definitely not the butthole. This is outrageous. This sister in law sounds like a real piece of work. The comments cover a lot of ground, so let's jump right in. Times Passing said, not the butthole, it's $250 per month for the room and $750 per month for you having to see her stupid face every day. You're giving her an 80% discount on the rent because she's family. KTB said, childish and petty as heck? Oh, yeah, but also not the butthole. Tell your sister in law and everyone else that you can reap what you sow. In my opinion, you're being extremely generous in requesting that she pay $200 less than what you paid for one room. This is also a good one for r/petty revenge. Ronark replied, I'd argue it's neither childish nor petty. People who abuse the misfortune of others for their own gain are never going to grasp the magnitude of what they've done until they've been forced to make similar choices. In this case, I'd wager the sister in law still won't understand, but trying to make her understand is a reasonable, responsible thing to do. Star DMC said, not the butthole. You stated that you had 5 people crammed in a room and she managed to moan and complain sharing one with her stepdaughter. She seems like a freeloader and shouldn't be enabled to just mooch off others and float by. Where is her husband, stepdaughter's dad? Did she not once apologize to you for the cramming you in a small room and upcharging you? $800 a month is basically the price of a room rental in most places. You are not the butthole at all. OP replied, her husband is down south helping take care of his parents, and while we live there, she claimed her husband was the one who set the rate, but he was never around to actually confirm or deny this. She never apologized. When we said we couldn't afford it, she basically said, well, I have a house to maintain too. No apology, nothing. Our third story is short, but the comments more than make up for it. Am I the butthole for going home after I got told to sleep on the floor? I'll preface this by saying that my husband, 33, has a friend Carl who's also 33. He considers him to be one of his closest friends. My husband sometimes calls Carl his nicotine because of how much he misses him and wants to spend time with him. They do everything together. They're even co-workers working the same job. Unfortunately, Carlos's wife passed away from cancer 3 months ago, which caused him to distance himself. My husband felt devastated for him. He recently started spending more time with him and brought him meals and new clothes. We planned a 3-day vacation to another state. I made a hotel reservation for 2. Unbeknownst to me, my husband had invited Carl to come with us. This made me upset because it spoiled the entire vacation. Not trying to be dramatic, I only found out when he went to pick him up. I sucked it up after my husband explained that Carl is a recent widower who's been wallowing in grief for so long and needed this vacation. The problem is money is tight, and since Carl hasn't worked ever since his wife passed, he couldn't pay for his own room and we didn't have budget for it. My husband said we should just share one room, and I again sucked it up since he said we'd be out all day on the beach anyway. First night, I was in bed when my husband and Carl got back. I got woken up by my husband telling me to get out of bed and sleep on the mattress he put for me on the floor, and he and Carl would take the bed. I asked if he was serious, and he asked what else is he supposed to do. He said Carl was a guest. We can't let him sleep on the floor, and at the same time, I can't share a bed with Carl while he, my husband, sleeps on the floor. I told him I didn't sign up for this, but he told me to suck it up and tried to pull Carl is a widower card. I told Carl to get out, then got up and got dressed to go home. My husband started yelling at me, calling me irrational, but I wasn't having it. I left the hotel and traveled back home. Carl didn't say anything when he saw me leave, except that I was making this non issue an issue. They got back, and my husband refused to even talk about it, but still said I ruined this for Carl and us and acted abhorrently and disgustingly. I admit Carl is struggling and I might have ruined this for him, but I didn't even know he was coming. Oh, goodness. Definitely not the butthole. What the heck? I don't know about you, but I'm wondering what's going on between her husband and Carl. Let's see what others think. The disciple Matt said, not the butthole. No shade here. I think your husband might be into men, specifically Carl. I'm not going to throw my wife to the curb for a friend. Compassion and empathy are one thing, but this is just plain insanity. Might want to get some therapy or have some hard convos. Little Outside said, so, how long has your husband been having an affair with Carl? This utter disrespect for you surely signals the end of your marriage. The logic applied here is bizarre, and you've become the third wheel in their relationship. You're either being used as a beard, or your husband is in deep denial about his sexuality. It sounds like there are no children, so leave now while you can. You have my sympathy, but you would be foolish to stay past this point. Not the butthole at all for going home. It was the only thing to do, given your choices. Our last story will confuse and infuriate you all the way along with OP, right up until the end. Would I be the butthole if I didn't go to my brother's wedding over a bridesmaid dress? I'm currently in medical school and live across the country from my brother and family. I was surprised when his fiancée asked me to be a bridesmaid because I barely know her, but she wants to have all siblings in the wedding. I made it clear that their wedding was during my final exam week, and while I was able to get an accommodation to take my last two exams early, I still wouldn't be able to help much with planning or be present at things like a bachelorette party or bridal shower. She said this was fine. It would mostly just be to have an even number of bridesmaids, to groomsmen, and for pictures. There's a group chat that was created months ago that I would read through every couple of days to get updates on things I needed to do, namely to order a bridesmaid dress. Links were sent with 3 styles to choose from, and we would be updated on colors later. So a couple weeks go by, and I ask what color to order. Bride says she's still thinking about it. Couple more weeks go by, and she's still thinking. Then a couple more weeks. You get the idea. Now, it's at the point that if I don't order this dress in a couple of days, it won't be here in time. So I ask on Saturday what color. No response in the group chat to me. I asked again yesterday, Sunday, what color do I need to order? Then I'm flooded with messages lambasting me for not ordering a dress yet from her sisters and my sister and her. My sister called me, told me to get my head together and order a dress already because my lack of preparedness is causing the bride intense anxiety because she doesn't think my dress will be here on time for the wedding now. She texted me this morning, don't forget order your dress. Love you, with smiling and kissing emojis. Still, no one has told me what color. I've scoured the group chat for a mention of dress colors or an image of a dress, but only the maid of honor sent a photo of her dress, and I don't know if she has a special color. There's thousands of messages, so it's not simple to find anything. Everyone else can meet in person, so I assume the decision on color was relayed in person. I can't tell if I'm being purposefully excluded. About an hour ago, my brother called me pleading with me to work things out with the bride because she's panicking about me. I tried to explain this to him, and he told me he doesn't care. It's a petty ladies' issue. And since I'm not there for anything else, this is the least I can do because the bride thinks I don't like her because I wouldn't come to anything. He's taking her side. They know I'm in medical school. I have literally no say in my schedule. And I'm on the other side of the country, 5.5 hours by plane. I'm fed up with them and contemplating telling my instructors the wedding was moved and I will take my exams at the regular time. I'd have more time to study that way anyway. I haven't told anyone in my family I'm considering this. Would I be the butthole? Update. I called my mother and asked her what color the bridesmaids' dresses are. She said lavender. The only color option on the website that I would call lavender are named pearly lilac, periwinkle, and orchid purple. I texted the maid of honor, bride's sister, to ask what dress color and got a multi-paragraph long lecture about not having ordered my dress yet. Basically, they are trying so hard to accommodate me being across the country by including me in the group chat. She said she didn't remember the shade name, but it's a dusty purple, then sent a blurry picture of a wrinkled order confirmation. The shade name was mulberry. on the dress website that is a darker wine or purple color. I told her this, and she said to order the lighter dusty purple color. I sent her a screenshot with the list of shade names and asked, which of these? She said she didn't know because everyone ordered their dress so long ago and asked for pictures of the dresses in different shades from the website. So I sent screenshots of all the light purple colors. No response for a while, so I called her on the phone, which she was upset about because it's past 10 p.m. over there now. Her response was, look, I don't care what your problem is with me and my sister, but if you want to stay in good standing with this family, you need to get your ducks lined up, girly. I ignored the lecture and comments and asked, what color? Her response, light purple. So I said, of the three I sent, which one is it? I don't remember. I'll have to ask one of the other bridesmaids for her receipt. I'll get back to you. I want to bash my head into a wall. I called my second brother, the one not getting married. He said they're pulling similar things with him, and he feels like he was deliberately given the wrong dates for the bachelor party by the best man, the bride's brother, so that he would miss it. He inadvertently learned about the change date the morning of, and when he asked the best man, he told him it must have slipped his mind to tell him. Then joked that he wouldn't have missed much since he probably won't enjoy any of the festivities anyway. They've been making homophobic jokes and comments to him that he's been ignoring, but he thinks they're trying to get him to back out of the wedding. So if we both back out, then there will be an even number of bridesmaids to groomsmen again. Only speculation on our parts, of course. Quick update. I was seriously considering pulling out, but the collective rage here and my fading motivation to study has me thinking. By this point, with how this post took off, I wouldn't be surprised if they find it at some point, so I don't want to reveal my cards just yet. Thank you to the comments that gave me the idea. I guess I'll be making an update mid-June if all goes to plan. Not the butthole. There's something weird going on here. It almost seems like the bride and her family are trying to drive a wedge between the groom and his family. Too bad the groom doesn't see it. This is hardly a petty ladies issue. Let's hear from others in the comments. WTA FML suggested typing this in the group text. What? Color. Dress. Legitimate essay suggested, for the love of God, tell me the color so we can end this living nightmare of misery, Jennifer. Acrobatic Business added, by the old gods in time immemorial, end this cyclopean nightmare haze and just, for the love of goodness and the glory of heavenly divinity, please just say a definitive color. Just one color. Any color. I don't care if you are lying, if you are purposely playing a game. At least offer some kind of color that might salvage the remaining threads of sanity left in this world. Always Amiss said, I'm getting secondhand anxiety just from reading your post. Why is no one telling you the color of the dress? Low Egg said, I can feel the frustration, as if I'm the one texting these loons. Coffee Historian added, I'm ready to call all of these people on OP's behalf just to get the stupid color. Suitable Cod said, I don't understand why they can't just tell you what color to order, not the butthole. This is weird. Someone added, it could be the bride's passive-aggressive way of getting unknown sister out of the bridal party and still look like the good guy. ETA? Yep, her edit makes me sure of it. Someone else totally agreed and said, this right here. Flashy Experience added, it sounds like sister-in-law and her family are gaslighting OP and her brother. Sister-in-law did not want either one in the wedding party, but lacked the integrity to just say that. I like the group chat idea. That also includes parents. If you've enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Thanks, and bye for now.